One, two, three. Whenever you are, we can start.
It's already start?
Yeah, I mean, it's recording.
Nice. We're looking good, right?
Yeah, I'm looking good.
Then same.
Come back to my channel, Agriculture for the Rest of Us. After probably 2 years, I'm here with my friend Kyu Hee. We're still doing the rice series after 2 years. Very consistent. And yeah, to give you a bit of an idea, I found a job 2 years ago and I spent a lot of time doing that stuff and I really enjoyed working in my job. I still do. But I was like, yeah, I want to talk about food and eat food again. So I'm back here. And this is a video actually that I recorded 2 years ago with Kyu Hee, but I lost the recording and I'm hoping that it doesn't happen again.
And at that time, we had to shoot 2 times because the first one, the voice wasn't recorded.
Yeah, the first time the voice was not
So
recorded.
this is actually the third time
Yeah.
we're doing the interview.
Third time and hopefully the final time. To give you a bit of an idea of what it's going to be like, yeah, we both will introduce ourselves and then you will get to know what the food is about also because where we're from basically. And then as always it's about like trying to understand what food means in this series about rice, what it means to us, and yeah, just having a conversation, getting to know each other. Well, we know each other already, but Kyu Hee for the audience of agriculture, for the rest of us.
Yeah, I graduated from Wageningen University with the major in plant science. So that's how I got to know Sammy, I think. And then now I'm currently working in Cologne, Germany, working at an environmental consultancy. Yeah, so working on the sustainability area. But then it's nice to come back and then really talk about like food and agriculture and
Yeah,
going back to the topic now, being back in Wageningen, it really reminds me of that time, and yeah, also giving me many ideas and bringing back those passionate times. So it's nice.
yeah, no, for sure. Wageningen is a special place for all of us, I think. To people who don't know about Wageningen, it houses Wageningen University, which is one of the best in the world for food and agriculture, and that's how us internationals ended up here. I also studied plant sciences here, and now work more with startups, so it's really cool. But I'm curious. Let's get to the point
Yeah.
because
It
we're
became a
hungry.
bit like a career.
We're promoting ourselves.
Yeah.
We want to promote
Yeah.
the food we have here, and it looks amazing. I'm actually going to bring the camera here because I think it's super nice, and so I'm gonna pick up the camera, guys, and show you guys what we have here. Do you want to talk a bit about it, actually?
Yeah, so this is kimchi fried rice, and in Korean we call it kimchi bokkeumbap. So I was also telling to Sammy that there's no really like correct recipe for this dish. Normally how we do it is if we have some leftover in the fridge and we just chop it up and then put it in. So every time it has different taste. So when Sammy was asking me for the recipe and ingredients, I was really just saying it very vaguely. Any veggies you like, and I can just do it any like soy sauce or like oyster sauce, whatever he has. So this is how it looks for this time, but it will probably look different for the next times. I think that's also the characteristic and the good part of this dish. Is very easy to make and everyone likes it. Every time it's different, so it doesn't feel boring. So this is how it looks. So it has fried kimchi and different veggies. So this time we put eggplant, shiitake mushroom, paprika, onion, and zucchini. Yeah, so whatever veggie you like, you can chop it in and you can make your dish.
Yeah, I'm really excited to eat it. I'm gonna put the camera back, and I think I'm back. Serve it because you cooked it.
Thank you so much. Also, another character of this dish now for today is normally we cook with japonica rice, which is more like a short grain, like sticky. But yeah, we cook with what Sammy had. It's more like short grain and more like less
Closest.
sticky. But it will work. It's just curious of how it will taste today.
This is a rice episode. I should be more diligent, but I'm happy that, and I think actually I like to get on the positive side. I think it's super cool that I can use a rice that is from India to make a Korean dish. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not crazy, but it's just in my head that's like amazing. Yeah.
And then it also is not like this kimchi fried rice works the best with Japanese rice. It's just what we have mostly in the country. So maybe it will end up tasting better than our normal. We'll see.
Don't want to offend anyone.
No, it's just having some like the food continuously changes. It's not like fixed recipe. So maybe it's like the new.
Solid kimchi.
I feel next time we can put less paprika.
What do you think about the rice?
It's good. Yeah. It's like normally with Japanese rice, it's better if we cook the rice the day before to make it like a bit more dry. But I think with this rice, it doesn't need it because anyways, it's more less sticky, so it works well.
I like it. I really like it. And I have to say, it's very different. We also have pulao, let's say, with vegetables we make. It's very different taste, flavor, profile. Really nice. So you mentioned that you cook this quite often, right? Is this? I'm just curious, like because is this not the most cooked, but quite often is rice eaten in a fried rice form? Like, I'm just curious, how is rice eaten in South Korea?
Yeah, I think we like more like the normal how meals look like is you have like a steamed rice and then a bowl of soup. And then you have different side dishes called banchan with like different pickles, including kimchi most of the time. And then one main dish, which is like normally with meat or stir fried something. So I think the most common way of cooking rice is the steamed rice version. But yeah, I think most people really like this fried rice. It's not like a fancy meal. It's mostly consumed like during lunchtime. You can get it in really cheap price with like as a street food kind of, or it's like anyone can easily cook it. So yeah.
Yeah. And because I had Tomoyuki also on the channel about 2 years ago, and we also spoke about how much rice is like consumed, like, and he said like rice was part of the diet basically, and I think it's quite similar. Like, is it? Yeah, if you look at like Southeast Asia and some of these countries, I feel like have a similar type of, at least the way dishes are distributed. Do you think there is something similar with Japan or?
Yeah, I think like Japan and maybe China also with rice being the most like staple crop and
Yeah.
then the main source of carb. I think it's similar with also having like dish that is kind of more intense flavor and then you kind of mod it up by having also rice with it. I think kind of that system is similar, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I really like, that rice can be paired in so many ways. You can also make rice pudding. Like, it's the most common thing that's there on the plate, and yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why I started the series as well. Like this.
Now, I feel like for each meal, if there's no rice involved, I feel like I didn't have a proper meal. Like for me, if I have like something with bread, it feels more like a snack rather than a meal. And I think that's how I was being raised, like how normally the meal look like. So that's why I feel like having rice means that I'm having proper meal feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious, how did you end up in studying agriculture? Like, because you're also from a city, right?
Maybe it's not so interesting. I didn't start with a passion. Agriculture. Yeah, maybe you don't want to add it in the video, but
Okay.
I first thought that my major was biology because the name was applied bioscience, but then it was actually agriculture science, and yeah, That's why I started to just get to know about the topic, and it was interesting. I felt like it was more practical than like any like kind
Yeah.
of just biology with theoretical stuff is actually applied, and it can really affect a lot of people. I like that component of the studies.
I feel like this is what actually brings people to agriculture. You
Mm-hmm.
don't say you're not passionate, but it's what actually, at least most people, that's what makes people interested in agriculture. So I think in a way that you were not when you selected it, when you got to know it, like you became more interested in it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, also, I think it's interesting always to know, like because you did study agriculture, then I think you notice a bit more on how people eat food or like what is right. And, yeah, I'm curious if you've seen like any changes in how people eat food in South Korea when you were there, and like rice especially because when I was talking with Tomoyuki, he said people are stop reducing the quantity of rice they eat. There's more bread because yeah, it's like a new innovation. Like, I'm just curious. How is
Yeah.
it?
I think also like with some like new Western influence or other country influence, they I think in Korea the character is that the food can become really trendy. So when a new dish comes in, everyone wants to try it. It becomes popular for a few years, and maybe they change to another one. And so I think, but of course, all the traditional meals are there, but then they
Yeah.
other dishes in their main meals as well. So I think therefore like the maybe rice consumption can be reduced. I think also for at least for breakfast, I think there are so many people changing to like consuming bread or granola in the morning rather than having
It's the same.
because also it takes a lot of time and and then I think normal traditional family moms cooked it, but now with this traditional family structure changing, then it people to look for more easier cooking meals than this.
Yeah, pleasure. It's great that now everyone can be part of the workforce and everyone can do. Yeah, I was watching a movie from 1980s and I saw this woman who was like literally woke up before the guy and cooked everything and brought it to him. I think it's nothing wrong to show love to each other, but yeah, I think it was quite unequal
Yeah.
if you look back. But yeah, I think we have to find ways in today's world where people to spend more time cooking because that's we read somewhere about like more ultra processed food reduces the quality of your life, also the length of your life. So I hope rice makes a return into food back again.
Yeah, I think also many food processing companies try to make the food
Less kind of
easier to cook, but with containing the same quality. Many like instant rice, but still really good quality that makes everything easier. So I think also eating the same rice, but then
I mean,
how to get this also keep changing and improving.
I also have like morning shakes which are processed but with very less processed ingredients, let's say, and changed my life. So I have more time, but I can also eat healthy, which is great. Smoothies. I won't call it healthy, but sorry, I will call it healthy, but I won't call it like eating, but like gulping in a way you could say. But yeah, do you? I mean, probably you don't know the answer to this, but I'm just curious. Like, do you people see like as the future of like growing rice or agriculture in South Korea, or how people perceive farming?
Yeah, I haven't done that much research on the recent trend of rice farming in
Not
Korea.
recent, but like I'm not interested in research, but like just what was around people around, what
What to say about
or how
what
do you
I
perceive,
imagine.
like
Yeah, I remember recently I saw some news article about having too much rice surplus in Korea because rice was the main like staple food that is consumed, and then to protect the farming, it was a lot of like subsidized and
every country.
yeah, I think also India is the same, but now they have like so much surplus and they have to think about what's the best like efficient way of agriculture that uses the same land and maybe produces the food that actually people will eventually all consume. Yeah, so maybe I don't know, maybe there can be reduction of rice farming. and then replace it with other new
It's
crops.
very interesting.
Yeah, that's maybe.
I mean, one of a lot of ways, you know, you can look at
Mhm.
it. So
Yeah, and maybe depend less on, maybe that could be the change in the agriculture system in Korea, and also with urbanization and many young people living to the cities, and now they struggle with getting farmers in the countryside, and also rice farming is not the easy farming, so
yeah, it's not. The
yeah, maybe
easiest.
to maintain it is also difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But interesting. I think, I mean, this is a trend that a lot of urbanized countries are seeing. Right? And I think robotics, especially now with the advent of AI, and I hope to see that in robots, and maybe that helps people. I always think that farming, somehow we have to make it cooler for people to be feel like they're part of it, you know?
I think that's also maybe one of the way to bring back the youth to the agriculture fields, to not be only shown as really like traditional old style labor intensive, but it can be something very like cool that they can try out new things. They're also contributing very importantly to the whole agriculture system in the country, so maybe that's also kind of a way to reverse the urbanization and losing the youth, young forces.
You know, this reminds me that I was working at a small farm here close by, and I think the restaurant nearby called to have some lettuce. I just cut some lettuce and I took it and gave it at the restaurant, and it was such a feeling, you know, when you know how food is produced, it gives you an appreciation to it. You know, you eat food 3 times a day, but sometimes people don't even know how it is produced. And it would be cool that at least a part of everyone's life they get a chance to see this. And maybe that's one of the ways to bring people back to agriculture. But I don't know. Who knows? But I really enjoyed eating.
Thank you so much.
And we'll continue eating. But yeah, I hope, yeah, I think I'm kind of at the end of this episode. I really like that we spoke about history, but also what is going on now and the future. And I think that we're in an interesting time for food and agriculture, especially if food, like you mentioned, there are trends, like food is coming from other parts of the world, and that's just the reality. And
Yeah.
we have to figure out how to
Yeah.
deal with these things.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the food we eat is continuously changing. The recipe can also change, but also the production method can change. The food system changes, so I think we also have to adapt to
Yeah.
the new changes and try to find the most still like the most sustainable and efficient way of production, maintaining the culture of the
Yeah.
food. Yeah.
Yeah, this is really good. I think it's a great note to end at. Thanks, you. Yeah.
I hope
I
it's
really
recorded.
Yeah, I think that it's recorded. I see the red
Okay,
color.
that's.
But I really enjoyed this. Like, yeah.
I also enjoyed
Yeah,
it too.
really
So
enjoyed
I
it.
feel also compared to the 2 years before, maybe our like quality of the conversation also improved.
That is the reason it never
Yeah.
happened.
That was your
Maybe.
strategy. That's a long-term strategy. Maybe we do it again 2 years later.
So we compare. How was it?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, if someone wants to reach out to you, can they reach out to you in some way? Like,
Yeah, of course. Maybe you can tag me on LinkedIn or
yeah, I
also.
will put LinkedIn below the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, and guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you will see way more videos in the rice series that will come in a few days. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.